Good afternoon. Welcome to Joellen's Kitchen. Today we have a request to make a water sponge cake. Now this is a little different for a Pennsylvania Dutch dish, but Pennsylvania Dutch nonetheless. Normally our dishes are heavy and full of a lot of flour and a lot of shortening and a lot of eggs and other rich ingredients. But today this is almost a healthy recipe. I can't help but think maybe they were out of some ingredients and experimented and came up with this recipe. When it says a water sponge cake, you'd think that there's water in place of milk. There's no water or milk inside the cake. But what you're going to be doing is creating a double boiler with water underneath and then sitting a bowl on top and beating the eggs inside. So let's get started. We need 5 eggs. That about does it. And then what we're going to do is blend in 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. And just kind of, get it, the wet and dry ingredient together there. And we're going to have a sugary egg mix. That looks pretty good. So things shouldn't splatter. I'll just show you my egg mix. And then what we're going to do, now you can do this, accomplish this next step one of 2 ways. You can take a can and do the traditional greasing it and then put flour in it and shake it all around and get it up the sides. Or they have this new product, well I don't know, it's not that new, but another product called Pam. And this pan happens to have flour already in it. So all I have to do is spray my cake pan with the shortening and flour mixture. Now it needs that flour to climb the sides of the pan because there's very few ingredients in this recipe. But I'm just going to let this sit, and you may have noticed that I took 4 large individual almost muffin pans because my vision for this sponge cake is to use it as a base for strawberry shortcake. So let's start making our double boiler. Now as you can see, the water's boiling, and I'm just going to turn that flame down so the water starts to simmer as opposed to boiling really hard, because I don't want my bowl to break. And then I've got my mixed egg yolks and egg whites. I'm going to set that on top. And we're creating a double boiler. Now we'll give that just a minute to warm up a little bit. And I did not have a mixer before, so I got this hand mixer, as you can see, and I've never used it, so if I make a really big mess, please bear with me. I'm going to just play with it a little. Whoops. See what happens here. What they want us to do is beat this for like 10 to 12 minutes until it's thick and fluffy. I'm about 5 minutes in and this bowl is full. If it gets any higher, it's going to come out over. Let's keep going. can see that we've got it almost like egg whites. It's whipped really, really good. And it's been going about 12 minutes, so I think it's time to stop. The next step is to gently blend in the flour. We have 1.5 cups of flour, and of course I have my spatula, and I'm just going to sprinkle some across the top. And we don't want to over beat it because we don't want to lose the fluff and the air we have in those eggs. We want to maintain that. We just want to get a little flour in there and gently fold it in. It's making it a little stiffer. This bowl was full to begin with, so it's a little bit tricky to try and blend in all this flour, but we're getting it done. I didn't want to disturb it too much by trying to pour it into another bowl and lose all the fluff that we have going on. It's looking so nice. Okay, now if we can get the rest of this blended in here, we'll be in good shape. Okay, the final step is to fold in a 1/2 cup or 4 teaspoons of melted butter. So let's melt this in the microwave. It only took about 15 seconds to melt that 4 tablespoons. It's really hot. I'm going to drizzle that around. And again, it's saying be gentle so we don't over mix it. Gentle and slow. Well, I'm thinking that looks pretty good. So at this point, we're going to pour this into our pre-floured, greased and floured cake pans. And as I said, I have a vision for this being the base for a nice strawberry shortcake. It's the 4th of July holiday weekend coming up, and what better thing to do than maybe make a little red, white, and blue if I can find some blueberries to add to the top. I don't know how much is going to pop in here, but we'll put the rest into the big cake pan. I was thinking that might be equivalent to 2 layers. This might be a skinny bottom pan. Alright, let's see if we can get this evened out here somewhat. So baking isn't going to take that long either. It's going to be 20 to 25 minutes in a 350-degree oven. Let's give it a go. Now we just have to be patient. It's in the oven. So while that's baking, we can prepare the garnish, which is fruit for the top. And of course we'll have whipped cream down first to make it red, white, and blue. But I found blueberries and strawberries in my refrigerator. Is that terrific or what? Fresh fruit is always good. Okay, we want to have ample berries, so we're just going to put these blueberries right in there with the strawberries, and maybe just add a tiny bit of sugar, and then gently tumble those together, and pretty soon those little sponge cakes will be ready. I have about a quarter cup of sugar. That should do it. That's plenty. And we'll just tumble those a little bit to let that sugar turn into a syrup in there. I think this is going to be a great dinner. I don't know that I need anything else because it just looks so good. And it's a hot summer day. I think it's like 92 degrees outside today. Won't this look pretty on a nice cloud of white whipped cream? All right, I think it's ready to just sit a while and let that turn into a little bit of a syrup. Okay, so let's try and assemble one of these sponge cakes with the whipped cream and the strawberries and blueberries and see how it all looks and tastes. Ooh. Nice, very nice. Ta-da! See how it tastes. It is wonderful. Homemade water sponge cake with whipped cream, blueberries, and strawberries. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy your weekend.